This past Sunday, the Seattle Times ran two really interesting stories that I feel help explain why our housing market here is just going up and up. And that is what I'm going to be covering today on Tuesday and 2. So, the first one that I looked at was all about empty bedrooms across Seattle and King County. We're talking about hundreds and thousands of rooms in these big houses that just sit vacant. And in theory, how it would work is spare bedrooms, they could be used to ease that housing crunch and give younger buyers or renters a foothold in the market, and then also provide homeowners with a little extra income. Who doesn't want that? But in reality, most homeowners don't. And they don't do it because landlord tenant laws are just too tenant favorable and can be confusing. The risk can feel too high, and honestly, a lot of people just aren't comfortable living with a stranger in their own home. So, what does this all lead to? It just leads to a lot of unused housing capacity in Seattle. Now, the second Seattle Times story that I found interesting was on downsizing. You'd think that empty nesters with these large houses, they'd be ready to sell and move into something smaller. But smaller homes and condos have gotten so expensive that downsizing, it isn't always cheaper. Add in the fact that many people might have 2 or 3% mortgage rates from these historic low ones of 2020, or maybe they're fully paid off if they bought 20, 30 years ago. Suddenly, selling off that bigger home and purchasing a smaller one often could mean paying more per month, not less, or depleting all your cash supply or equity in your home. So that keeps people handcuffed to their homes even when the space doesn't fit their lifestyle anymore. So when you put these two together, empty rooms that just don't get rented, big houses that just don't come onto the market, you see why supply stays so tight in Seattle. And with demand always seemingly strong, that's one of the reasons Seattle real estate keeps pushing up and up, even when interest rates or the economy says it should slow down. So if you're wondering why housing feels so expensive and competitive here, these are two stories that I feel really can connect the dots. Fewer options on the market, more pressure on the prices, and that's the cycle we just keep living in. That's been your Tuesday and 2. I'm Nathan Matheson. Peace.